Hi, this is Phil Potempa, and welcome to another edition of Notoriety. Each week, bringing you everything you want to make sure you mark on your calendar, what's not to be missed, all the events and activities and opportunities that are happening in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland, and beyond. And of course, this broadcast is the broadcasting equivalent of all the columns and feature stories you'll read in the flagship newspaper that is the Post Tribune, underneath the umbrella of Chicago Tribune Media. So everything is always captured also at ChicagoTribune.com for my stories and columns. But best of all, they all come to life here once a week with our arts programming of Notoriety these past 8 years. We'll make sure we put a timestamp on here so everybody knows that today's show is being captured on this August the 11th, Monday, August the 11th. So if you're hearing this and there's anything that is dated or timestamped, you want to make sure you plan accordingly. And we want to also thank our generous underwriters, the folks that are the sponsors that have made this show possible these many years. Over the years, through the help of the Legacy Foundation, Indiana Arts Commission, and especially our primary sponsor, that is the underwriter of People's Bank. Thank you so much for your generosity, and to you. Some of you are tuned in through our radio airwaves traditionally as we come to you from our Strachan Van Til studios in Hammond, Indiana. Others are streaming, or maybe you found us on your social media dial. We're just so glad that you're along with us. I'm joined today with co-host Luke Miller. Thanks for being back again, Luke.
Good morning.
And we've been waiting for this interview so long, and I'm sure glad that our guest today, who's zooming in, Christopher Bell, has been so patient with us. He is here to tell us about some opportunities and events that are coming, and we crossed paths with him. It was already on July the 25th, if you can believe it, when we were in the beautiful Under the Stars, that is right in Grant Park. Millennium Park, you might want to say if you're closer to where the Bean area is, but the J. Pritzker Pavilion is that amazing, acoustically, absolutely precise band shell where so many outdoor performances happen that are the stamp of summer, one of which was brought to us, thank you, through the talent of the chorus and also through Christopher Bell. Are you there with us, Christopher? Can you hear me all right? Let's see. I think our producer is going to get a little more sound on us. Let's see. There, I think. Good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning. I hope you can hear me broadcasting from down beside Millennium Park on the 28th floor of the Aqua building. That's where I'm broadcasting from this morning.
Yeah, we have a strong signal and a robust welcome to you. Thank you for joining us and for being patient. We had hoped that we were going to do this just a couple of weeks ago, and then we had some programming snafus on our end that took us away, but we were back on the books, and we still have plenty of time to enjoy what's happening. I want to make sure that we get your complete title correct, so I'm going to let you introduce that title and all the different hats that you wear, Christopher.
So when I'm in Chicago, I am the chorus director of the Grant Park Music Festival. So we have a professional chorus that can be a variety of different sizes depending on the piece of music that we're performing. When we're doing smaller scale things, we have 62 on the stage. And I think you came to a Broadway performance, and I think you might have heard some things there. We had 62 choristers on the stage there. Later on this week, we're going to have 86 because we're tackling one of the big choral pieces of the repertoire, which is Karl Orff's Carmina Burana.
And the one of the most important things before we put some additional reminders for dates and times on these is that there's not too many things that are in this world that are free or brought to you at a very, very reduced price. But these are opportunities that are really open to everybody to come and be a part of that audience. Is that right?
Absolutely. So we do have a membership program, and some people sign up for a membership, which is not particularly expensive, as you've said. But beyond the membership program, there are 2,000 seats for non-paying customers to sit right close to the stage, and then up to 9,000 spaces on a lawn. There really is there's no building quite like this anywhere in the world. Not only does it have massive capacity for people to come along and listen to concerts for free, but it's designed by Frank Gehry, looks like no other building set against the skyline of Chicago. It's extraordinary. It really is amazing. And if you've never been, I would really encourage people to come along.
No, I agree with you 100%. It was the first time that I was ever there, and it was the first thing that, of course, jumped out at you. The architecture just seemed like it was something from another world, frankly.
Yeah.
The acoustics as well were terrific, and even if you're far back, you hear it perfectly up close, perfect as well.
And I'm a veteran. I've been to a number of opportunities there over the years, so I love that space. I say we're under the stars, and you are under the stars. If you're under the lawn or some of the farther concrete pavilion seats, you have an open air sky. Where I was seated at, we are fortunate to be really within a stone's throw of that stage, so we had a little bit of the overhang for us, which is always sort of nice. And I've got to start with asking one of these fun questions for you, Christopher. I was pretty close, so I could see everything that was going on. I was taking plenty of photos. I've always wondered this for any of the performances that I see up there. When you're up inside that band shell, and the chorus, they were even recessed farther back, so they were up higher. I saw a number of fans up there, but is there also some air movement that is some cool air that is also piped in, or no, it's the cool air off Lake Michigan and nothing else?
So when the band shell opened, for the short answer is yes, there is an air cooling system on the stage, or rather, there was. I'm not sure if it's still there, but certainly when the building was built, there's a cool air system on the stage as well as backstage and everywhere else.
Yeah.
But as any ninth grade or 10th grade scientist will tell you, and it's amazing that nobody worked it out before we started, but it's just one of these things that if you have cold air and then a wall of cold air, which is what's on the stage, and then a wall of hot air, which is what comes from out in the park. When cold air means hot meets hot air, you get rain. And so it started to rain on the stage. It rained on the performers, not as far back as the chorus, but on the front sets of the. So we don't have a cooling system on as such. The system may be on to circulate the air, because even if it's not cooled, if the air is moving around, then it will feel a little cooler against your skin. But no, the answer is that we still need to have the fans that are all around the back of the chorus, and there are some fans on the stage as well, and even one special fan blowing directly up onto the conductor, because on some nights, I have to tell you, it's pretty hot up there.
Yeah, and for anybody though, I speak here, I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. As somebody who's been to these outdoor concerts so many times, outdoor movies, all the different opportunities that are happening in Grant Park, there is something to be said about being right there. That's so close to where the lake is. There's always a welcome breeze that will come through, and at these different events, they're very kind. Yes, there's some moments of security to get through there, but you can bring your beverages through, bring something to stay cool. Everybody around is in such a great mood, Christopher, and that has to do with you and the programming and the musicians as well, because I know it's a partnership. When we were there a couple weekends ago on a Friday, it was a salute to Rodgers and Hammerstein. So Oklahoma, Sound of Music, every single one of the checklists, South Pacific, it all brought to life during a very brisk, quick 90-minute performance. There was a quick little intermission in there, but man, it moves at the speed of light.
So I think the Grant Park Music Festival has been a tradition in Chicago for 90 odd years. Just can't remember exactly the right number, but it's very close to 90. And firstly, way down in Grant Park, then a little bit closer to where we are now with the Petrillo Shell, and then the absolute jewel that is the Pritzker Pavilion with its amazing sound system, its extraordinary architectural features, and alongside that, late in the day, Geary was asked to provide a bridge across Columbus to get from Millennium Park over to now what is Maggie Daly Park, but it was a little bit of Grant Park at one stage. And I don't know about you, but if I was asked to design a bridge which needed to get from A to B, my bridge would pretty much be fairly straight, going straight from here to there.
Yes.
Frank Geary, on the other hand, organized a bridge that went like a sleeping dragon across the top of Millennium Park, across the top of Columbus, rather. So the magic that is there, the combination of the skyline of Chicago, the extraordinary architecture, the trellis for the sound system, the planting, the general summer atmosphere. It really does make going to a Grant Park concert a really quite special thing with something for everybody. You can be right close at the front, really glued to the performance. You can be a little further back at the front of the lawn, a little bit more informal, or you can be way back the lawn. If you look around, families are sitting around, catching up with other friends. People come down from work. They have a concert till about 8 o'clock, and then they go home. So it is quite an extraordinary and unique atmosphere. And we hope that it's one of the traditions in Chicago that will remain for many years to come.
And look, well, wouldn't you agree? Again, I'm not underplaying it when I say everybody's in such good spirits and a good mood. Everybody's patient. Do not think of any pushing or shoving. Everybody's there at the, plenty of parking because you've got the underground parking right there. You and I went just a stone's throw, a couple corners away, and did self-parking over there. And again, it's just an orderly process because everybody knows what's awaiting, and that's that fantastic programming.
No, plenty of room. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, it's a wonderful experience. all
And
the way around.
very helpful, everybody there to guide you, to point you in the right direction. So I feel like, Christopher, we've been teasing everybody by talking about the experiences that we had a couple weeks ago. Let's let them know that it's not, the opportunity's not over. Give us the dates and the programming that's coming up now.
So Friday the 15th and Saturday the 16th. Have I got those dates? 11, 12, 13, 14. Friday the 15th and Saturday the 16th. We've got two performances of Carmina Burana. Carmina Burana, if the name doesn't ring a bell, some of the melodies will within it, because the opening O Fortuna has been in many a film, kind of a sci-fi situation. Some of the other melodies through, it's very tuneful. The stories being told are somewhat ribald and naughty. They're coming from 11th century monks' imaginations. Let's just put it there. We sing in Latin and German, so it's still a family show. And not everybody will entirely keep up with what's going on, but it's a very entertaining prospect. Our biggest chorus of the summer, nearly one of our biggest orchestras, because it is quite a big orchestra for this piece. Three soloists and our new artistic director, Giancarlo Guerriero, on fiery form.
We've seen Carmina about a year ago. I saw here at Northwest Indiana with our symphony, and like you said, so many of the melodies are so iconic, like O Fortuna, and I can only imagine there at the amphitheater just how it's going to be, that experience.
Oh, absolutely. How many months or weeks go into the prep for preparing for? I'm not going to say for the curtain to go up because there's not a visible curtain that we use for these outdoor concerts. But how long is the prep time to get the chorus and their pipes ready to go?
The reason I'm spluttering here is because most people's experience of choir music and most people's experience of what a big choir can do is based on very talented and very capable volunteer choirs who may have many rehearsals once a week as part of a cycle of hobbies and activities that they do. Maybe very, very talented singers, but they're rehearsing once a week. The Grant Park Chorus is an entirely professional chorus. Every single singer that is there is making their living, or at least a considerable part of their living, as a singer. And so they're able to read music very quickly. Many of them will have sung the piece before. I did ask at the beginning, hands up who hasn't either taken part in or been part of a performance. And out of 86, I would say about 8 put their hands up. And I said, well, you're in for a treat. It's a great piece of music, particularly when you're learning it with a fast group like the Grant Park Chorus. So we will have 3 rehearsals. We could do it on 2 if everybody attended both rehearsals, but because of the way the contract works, if you've got other commitments on one night, you are allowed to take one of them off. And so we put in 3 just to make sure, 3-hour rehearsals, and we're then ready to hand it over to the conductor. Then there'll be 2 orchestral rehearsals so that we get to hear what the orchestra sounds like, and then 2 performances.
So I'm just curious, when we were there a couple Fridays ago, and I keep mentioning the salute to Rodgers and Hammerstein and the number the huge Broadway, spectacle musicals, South Pacific being one. Was it already in the program notes? I just thought this was phenomenal. For the song There's Nothing Like a Dame, you had the men on one side, the women on the other side, and each of them had their own parts. Did you devise it that way, or no, it's written that way if you have access to that many men and women to carry it through?
Oh yes, no, that's the way it's written. It's all quite specified, and in fact, there's nothing like a dame. The women don't sing anything in it at all, but rather sneakily we got them to whistle along with the tenors and basses. Not everybody can whistle, so and the audience wouldn't necessarily have been aware that the women were whistling along. So there you go.
And I have to say, the choir, I don't care if it's 83-degree day or 93-degree day, they had their robes, didn't they, Christopher? They were
Yeah, well,
robed.
we're dressed in our usual concert blacks. It is a proper concert performance.
Yes.
The orchestra is dressed as an orchestra would. Having said that, there are little flexibilities, and at the concert, where are we now? Monday the 11th. There was a concert last Saturday on the 9th, and the weather was absolutely stinking hot, really hot. So we got to do warm weather clothes. So people were allowed to wear shorts and open-toed sandals and very, very short-sleeved shirts to allow a breeze of air to go through the chorus and the orchestra to keep the show on the road.
Christopher, I know, again, besides the partnership with your musicians and with the chorus to make this Grant Park Musical Festival happen, there are so many underwriting, besides your membership, and sponsors and folks. Any shout outs, or do we just want to direct them and say, please go to that website for the Grant Park Musical and be grateful and thank all of those wonderful sponsors and underwriters? I don't know, maybe you don't want to play favorites, but it certainly does take a number of them and wonderful funding to make this happen year after year, correct?
It certainly does. We have a long list of marvelous supporters. In one particular one, and I hope I get the name right. There's a lady called Nancy Denlow, and she's the Denlow Foundation, and she supports all of the choral activities.
Oh,
And so, as the chorus director, I would be rather remiss to say not to mention Nancy. But of course, there are many considerable supporters out there. Some of them are supporting individual programs. Some of them are making contributions to the overall running of the festival. And let's be honest, the Grant Park Music Festival is a very, very unique combination of supporters. We have the Department of Cultural Affairs still helping us. We still have the Grant Park Orchestral Board, and then we have a long list of supporters really helping us out, including, of course, the Park District, who has been our main supporter for close to 90 years. We're very lucky. There is genuinely nothing else like it anywhere in North America. And of course, people want to say Chicago is a city very much unlike any other city. And that's something, of course, that we're all very proud.
oh, we're so lucky. We certainly are that we have this beautiful, huge oasis of arts and entertainment that is all of Chicagoland and spills right over here in Northwest Indiana. As I mentioned earlier, our broadcast is being captured on this August the 11th. This is 2025. So on this date, give us your crystal ball, Christopher. We're curious, how far in advance now, when you're around that conference table or you're looking through programs and notes and music, what are you planning for now? Is next year already set and the brochure is off to the printers, or no, you're still fine tuning? How far in advance do you plan this?
I would say, well, at this very moment, I can say without fear of contradiction that without some of there will be small details that need to be kind of ironed out, and I mean very small. But ultimately, the season for summer 2026 is already set, and any conversations are about summer 2027. 2026 is, of course, USA 250. And so it won't surprise anybody that a lot of our programming, I mean, we do program a lot of American composers, but in USA 250, we will be programming considerably more. It is something that we at Grant Park are really well known for, a diverse programming. If I say interesting, I mean the opportunity to hear pieces that are certainly worth hearing, but perhaps other promoters wouldn't necessarily feel that they could take a risk on them. We can take a risk because of the a particularly unique way in which Grant Park is funded. And our audience trusts us. They know that we're going to choose music that they will at least find interesting. So that we hope is yet another reason why people keep coming.
And one more time, a reminder, Christopher, how many years for your affiliation in this role?
Well, I first came to Chicago to try out for the job in 2000. I tried out again in 2001, and then in 2002 they gave me the job. So since 2002, it's about 24 seasons so far. Next year will be my 25th. It's funny saying those big numbers out loud. I've done this job for 25 years, and you think, wow, I didn't intend. I didn't. I don't even think I really knew how long I was likely to stay here. But it's such a unique opportunity for me to work with some of the best singers in North America, and we bring them together. We slice through music at great speed with great accuracy and wonderful musicianship. It's hard to turn it down. When they ask, would you like to come back again? I say, I'm here.
Please don't go anywhere, Christopher.
You're very sweet. Thank you very much.
I'm curious, just in closing here, how often do you get back across the pond over to the Emerald Island? Very often?
So my mother is going to be 89, actually, in about 4 days' time. And I do get across to Ireland to see her quite a lot. I actually live most of my year. I live in Edinburgh, in Scotland.
Okay.
I went to Edinburgh for university, a couple of years ago, and I very much enjoyed it. It's one of the world's most extraordinary cities. I love living there. And so 9 months of the year, I'm actually in Scotland. 3 months of the year, maybe 3 and a bit, I'm in Chicago. It's a wonderful balance, and I enjoy the fact that I'm getting to enjoy both of these wonderful cities. So extraordinary.
And as we close, one more time, will you give us our reminder for our two important concert dates coming up this weekend?
So Friday the 15th and Saturday the 16th of August, we've got Carmina Burana as the headline piece at the Grant Park Music Festival, 6:30 on Friday and 7:30 on Saturday. 9,000 free seats. Unlikely you won't get a space.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. It's such a delight. And please come back anytime, Christopher.
Thank you very much indeed. All the best to you now.
All right. And to all of you as well, thank you for being a part of our conversation. Thank you, Luke Miller, for co-hosting as well.
Of course.
And we're so grateful again to have the opportunity to talk with Christopher. You can always do all your own homework. Grant Park Musical Festival. Go to the website. Find out more about the chorus as well. Most of all, we hope that you have a great start to your week, or if you're hearing this as a rebroadcast, wherever your path might take you, morning, noon, or night.